Welcome to ASoulfulSpace. I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Shy, and today we're talking about femininity and the divine feminine.
But before we start, we have a few questions for you. First, what is femininity to you? Men and women can both answer. Second, how do you practice/maintain femininity, if at all? And men, what are some feminine traits that you like in your woman? And lastly, what are qualities of a feminine woman? Are you guys ready to get into the soul?
Let's get into the soul.
Okay.
So, what would you say the divine feminine is to you, or what have you heard about it?
So, a lot of times, especially on TikTok, when girls talk about divine femininity and stuff, it's just like a woman sitting in her power. Sometimes they say it's like a mixture of being soft and being still strong. Um, she is still a leader in ways of her life, whether that's personally or around other people. Um, I think that's pretty much it. Like basically just a queen.
Okay. So I feel like I definitely agree with a lot of what you just said. And then I also feel like the divine feminine is like not saying too much in situations, like not not taking charge in relationships and letting like your partner lead the way, like, but still, yes, guide him to leading the way, so you still get kind of what you want from him, but without having to ask him. It's like a intangible like essence that kind of emanates off of women. Like, you just know that you don't have to over speak or say too much or elaborate on something and let your silence speak for itself. And you still kind of end up getting what you want. And of course, there comes compromise, but like, it's just sitting pretty and just knowing the power you carry as a female, because we can literally bring life into this world. So I feel like the divine feminine is different for everybody, but it's like a level of consciousness that you achieve.
A level of consciousness and a level of confidence.
Yes. Yeah. And just being confident in your like words and how you articulate your words to whoever you're speaking to, whether that's a man or a woman. So you're able to speak in a way that they receive, but also like where you're not compromising your integrity. You're following your intuition in situations and just trusting you know what you're doing. Yeah, I feel like that's divinity and femininity, is being girly, not overly masculine, and not trying to prove yourself or get validation, because you just know what you offer.
We know what we bring to the table.
Yep. And I personally hate that question. Like, when a man asks, well, what do you bring to the table? It's like, oh, ew, you're not living in your divine masculine. Because the same way, like, we have divine feminine, there is the divine masculine. So when men ask, oh, what are you bringing to the table? It's basically telling you, without telling you, that he's expecting you to show up like him. Because what we bring to the table, it's not physical. It is not physical. It is something else.
I feel like a lot of questions that come up when getting to know someone, or just in general, just shouldn't be asked. Like, we should just realize this is all just, we're on a spinning rock and we're just experiencing life together. Like, the question about like when our last episode about body counts and all this other stuff, it's just like I get it, we want to know things, but at the same time, like, things like this is why it also starts arguments, and why it shouldn't even be considered. Like, just get to know this person, and again, like I've said in previous episodes, if this person is just not your person, then let them go. You'll find your person and stuff like that. Like, I feel like when you really think about it, and now, like, I don't really care about those things. I'm not gonna sit here and ask the man, oh, what do you bring to the table? I'm just gonna see what he brings and his qualifications as I get to know
as a
him.
potential partner. It's
Yeah.
just like, let us observe you. And if women are asking you these questions early on, oh, well, how much money do you make? Or are you going to be able to pay for my X, Y, and Z? It's, she's not living in her divine feminine when she's not letting you lead in your divine masculine. If a girl really likes you, she does not care how much money you make. Because at the end of the day, if you end up with somebody, money might not always be in the picture. And then what you're
Mm-hmm.
left with is each other. So it's a balance. So women who have these crazy high expectations of you early on are telling you all you need to know about where they're at within themselves.
Especially the girls that say, "Oh, you gotta pay to fly me out." Girl, go get you a sugar daddy and leave these men alone. Cause what the hell?
No, for real. Like, reasonable expectations versus unreasonable expectations. You have to know what you're willing to bring to the alleged table early on and not early on.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like for me, like it's been a lot to get into my femininity, especially within my spiritual journey and spiritual growth. Um, I also believe being within your divine feminine is also being connected with the divine, and also being connected to like yourself, like keeping up with your hygiene and stuff like that, self care.
Yes, self care is
Um,
very important.
yeah, and that's not just for women; men could do it too, but again, like just taking care of yourself spiritually, intellectually, physically. Those are all,
Mentally,
yes,
that will all,
emotionally.
yeah,
Yeah.
that will all affect how you show up in your divine feminine. If your mind is not right, okay, you need to work on that before you can show up in any type of certain capacity to be with a man and still be in your full capacity in your
Hmm.
femininity. And
Yeah.
I also feel like too, like the divine feminine is knowing when to let go, not holding on and just trusting your intuition, which oftentimes I feel like as females, we don't trust our intuition and our gut is always right.
Yeah, literally. I feel like we get that feeling, but we want to combat it because it's like not even just to see if we're gonna be right or see like if it's gonna be wrong or anything like that. It's just like a thing, like because they say like the butterfly feeling. Sometimes some people associate it with it being completely negative. Some people associate it with it being positive. So it's like you don't really know in what instance this is.
How do you feel for butterflies over a man or a situation?
At first, when I was younger, I thought it was just because, like, oh, he makes me so nervous and I actually like him. But as I've grown older and learned more things about spirituality and stuff like that, and I have listened to certain videos, I kind of sit with it as it's just my intuition and it's a negative impact. So I associate it with negativity because like, in the instance with a previous ex that I had, he was lying to me, and I could feel the energy of him lying
Yeah.
against someone that I'm getting to know. And they tell me something specifically, and I don't feel like I asked them a question, and they were like, no, I wouldn't do something like that. And then I didn't get that feeling that I would know that I would get. So I associate it with negative things because, like,
Yeah.
there's no that's just my intuition telling me like no, you're asking this question and they're giving this answer because it's not the
It's not
truth.
true. That is a valid point. I Hi Papa.
Yeah.
We're recording. That will all be cut out.
We'll leave it. It's okay. Little blooper moment. um
I lost my train of thought with all that noise.
it's okay. We're still getting up to the ropes, guys.
Keep up the good work. Sorry.
Hey, we love a supported papa.
We really do. I knew we call him that for real. But yes, I feel like for me in the past, when they say trust your gut, as I've gotten older, I truly believe that because my gut has never led me astray. I lead myself astray because I don't be following what my gut tells me. And it's unfortunate because it's like I always will spend time in a situation. I'm like, dang, I should have trusted my gut from day one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like your mind, your heart, your pussy will tell you something else. Like, no, girl. So that's part of the divine feminine is trusting what you feel from the beginning and letting that dictate your decisions rather than what your mind, your heart is telling you. Because I feel like your gut is in alignment with your chakras, which is aligned with your spirit. So, you know, like yes, your heart and your mind, your third eye, those are all valid too. But it starts from the bottom and it works its way up. So those are the ones you have to trust the most. And it starts with your root is being grounded. And then it goes to your sacral and then to your solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the next one up? I think
Yeah,
it.
your
Yeah.
solar plexus is it's it's below, and then
Your sacral is like your groin.
okay,
Those
so those
three
ones,
are very
yeah.
important. Those are the ones at the bottom that are centering you down to the earth first. Those three will dictate everything that comes up above because
Mm-hmm.
it's your energy that you're radiating off. If you're not grounded, well, your mind's gonna be somewhere else. Okay, so I do think like we need to trust our gut more as women. I don't know for men because I'm not a man. I don't know where they get their instincts from or their feelings. They're more logical than us. So
Hey man, if you want to let us know,
if you want to come on here and talk about your masculinity and how you trust whatever feeling you get, please.
yeah, or if you want to, you guys are free. We have a little kind of like a questionnaire in our bio that you could leave your thoughts, or if you want to comment down below and leave your thoughts or give a little bit of insight.
Slide in these DMs,
Yeah, let
let
us
us know.
know.
Yep. Because it's hard to speak from a masculine perspective because we're not men. So I don't really know how they know. Like, I saw a video that of Pop the Balloon
Mhm.
where the guy was like, if I say it's the end of the if the end of the world is happening and I say we're going right, but you're everything in you as a female is telling you go left. Which way are you going to go? And she was like, well, if you were my husband, I would go right.
Hmm.
But if you weren't my man, I would go left. And
Mhm.
he was like, that answer alone is how I know we wouldn't be compatible because and I did think it was genius. I know. Because I initially thought the same thing as her. He was like, how could I ever get to the point of being your husband if you're not letting me lead prior to that? You know what I mean? Like, if, let's say, like, you really like this man, but then it comes down to just a title,
Mhm.
and he's like, it's the end of the world. We need to go this way. That's whatever in him is telling him to go right, but everything in you is telling you go left. Whether that was my man or not, I think I would also go right because it's like he's right. How can I ever be your husband if you're not even going to follow my lead prior to that? Right? That's still a masculine kind of trait.
I see that. I see that.
I
I
know.
just feel like if we are talking about, well, we have to listen to our gut and everything's telling us. I mean, I feel like she shouldn't have said either, like, oh,
If you were my man.
yeah, if you were my man, or like they're putting a title to it. I feel like, especially if we know this is our power, this is our truth,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna listen to my gut. Or I could just say, give the suggestion, like, hey, yeah, the world is ending. My gut is telling me everything right now that what you're saying is wrong, and we should go to the left because it feels like it's gonna be the safest choice. And I feel like,
But that's like the beauty of I feel like the divine feminine is like in a situation like that, maybe I would feel like I'm stressed and I couldn't trust what I was initially thinking. And maybe I would lean on the man and be like, well, what do you think? Which way do you think is better? And kind of say, let him lead in a, well, I think right is better because of. and maybe he'll see something that I don't see because he is a man. And that's where I'm like, that's the divine feminine, is like really trusting the man to lead the way.
Yeah, yeah, you can trust the man to lead the way. I think like it should be like, well, if it ever comes down to that or any other aspect, to have, discuss
Yes,
each
if
of
there's
these
a discussion.
feelings.
Yeah.
So, because in a life or death situation, whatever. I mean, I
Adrenaline.
would lean to a man because they're strong and
They're
they're gonna do
strong.
what the fuck they can do.
Yeah.
But if everything's telling me to go left, and I'm like, sir, it's telling me to go left, I think that's for a reason. Because then if we go right, and then here's a zombie eating your ass up, I'm running. Sorry, I'm not gonna mourn your death. I'm out of there.
See, that's wild.
I knew I should have just went left.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I do see the like, dang, I let my man lead and he disappointed in his decision for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's always the repercussions of that, and I do think the divine masculine has to take the divine feminine into account in his decision before he takes it. So it's like a balance. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I say have the discussion and see each other's viewpoints, yeah. And then you could be like, then you can make that solid decision. Yeah. But it is
together.
And another thing too is the discussion about letting men and women lead. Just in general, and I'm starting to look at it more, and I see it a lot on TikTok too, like a lot of comments, and not even just TikTok, like Instagram too, and just, social media. And it's mostly geared towards, like, women leading, like, let's talk about the presidency.
So, controversial.
Yeah, so some people, they said, oh, you guys should have voted more for Camilla and blah, blah, blah. I don't stand for any of this shit.
Oh, wait, so you don't think that a female should run this country?
No, I'm saying in general, I don't give a fuck about presidency.
Like, I don't either.
We should not have a president. We should just be dealing with things ourselves.
So, very pro-democracy? And no one, like, at the top of the government chain?
Basically, I feel like we should be making the decisions. Like how, and maybe that just made me think of that book. They made it into a movie. Is it The Giver? I think it's The Giver.
Ooh, that was
in black and white.
Yes.
But, okay, so they still basically have a leader, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
But like they announce, like they make the decisions and then they put an announcement out.
That was like a communist society, right? Or am I
honestly, I don't remember. It's been a while.
Because the communists in the book, if I remember correctly, there were the women who were picked solely to be breeders, and they
had different things. So there's a woman that's a breeder, there's a woman that's a nurturer, there's a woman that does this. Yeah.
And then the men would do this, and that's kind of what they got stuck in for their life.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think that it should be that in terms of that aspect. I just think in terms of we all make a collective decision. So say like, oh, today, let's make it basic. Today, everybody's gonna we're taking a vote on everybody fertilizing the crops, or everybody grabs all the corn or something. Like, I don't know.
And then the majority rules if you take a vote?
Yes. So like if there's 100+ people and like
20
vote for this and then 80 vote for that,
that's the consensus. Yeah. That's what everyone is going to be doing.
And then they put out like someone goes on the intercom and says, all right, everybody, we're doing this. Some people will probably be like, oh my God, but
yeah, they're still happy to help. And I do feel like that's more the collectivist mentality, which is what like Asian cultures in society carry a lot more than the individualistic American culture society. Like,
and I also think that we should... If you ever watch Flight Club, we need a reset, and like no money's involved when we go back to trading. I did have a conversation about this with a friend of mine, kind of a short little conversation, and he was like, basically, I feel like we should all trade, but he was saying that it would be great, but there's always going to be someone that wants more, and I get that. But I feel like if we all sit down and really think about how it's so destructive to have money and stuff like that. Like, I'd rather do trading for my services. I do service swaps with people, and I'd rather do that, like, because I know we all have bills, which is unfortunate.
I feel like a lot of people, like, in the servicing industry are very pro service swaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we can't always afford, not everyone could always afford a $300 photo shoot. I
Right.
get that. Not everybody could always afford $120 lashes. Like,
Yeah.
if we could do where we can match it up, where
Where you place value
yeah,
on the service.
yeah, and it's the value is the same, then I feel like that's an even exchange, and that's how I do it. And like sometimes I'll throw in a tip if I can, and like me and my hairstylist, she will throw each other tips, even though we're getting basically a free service from each other.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that with my hairstylist before too.
Yeah,
It's like, I will do an entire class for you in college if you do my hair
yeah,
twice.
yeah.
Like, for
Like,
me, that's a fair trade off.
mm-hmm.
Like, I'm happy to do, probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but I am happy to do college work for people in exchange for services 100%.
Yeah, I'll write a paper for someone.
College, it's like second nature for me. That is very easy, and I will get you all A's.
Yeah, like I feel like that's very beneficial, and some people like sometimes it's like not a fair trade or like collaboration. Um, Sometimes I complain about collaborating, but in terms of like when it's not a service swap, because collaborating it's different. Like I'm giving my service just to provide for someone for exposure that I do and don't really need. For
Okay.
me, I say do and don't because I already have enough exposure. Will I meet more people because I'm doing it with someone new? That will give me exposure, yeah. But like, I feel like I have enough, or like I have generally everything as a collective in my portfolio that I don't need more exposure. So, would I rather do service swaps? Yes. In terms of like an actual service provider, not a model coming and giving me her modeling, I don't need that. But hair or makeup or whatever, I'll do that. And always having a contract for that will be best too. Like I send people my contract. Typically hairstylists and stuff don't have a contract. They're just doing hair.
Just
But
usually for like payments and stuff like
yeah.
that.
But other than that, like for me, like you have to tag me and stuff like that. Like we need some credibility because if I'm tagging you and you're doing all the services on my hair, I would expect that same back, you know? So it has
Yes.
to be an even exchange is basically the consensus of
Yes.
what I'm
I
saying.
agree that women and men, if you are posting photos and you have a fresh haircut from whatever barber or hairstyle from whatever hairstylist, them nails is in the picture, looking 10 out of 10, your fit was from a local person, you should definitely be giving them their credit.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the respectable thing to do. It's just like, give credit where credit's due. You look good in your pictures. It does not hurt to put an at on whatever it is.
Yeah. And even like what going back to what I was saying in terms of community, um we should be trading again, whether that's trading, someone she's gardens, so she trades some of her
Fresh
vegetables, yeah,
vegetables.
for like I don't know something that I can do. I'll take pictures of her crops or something like like things
Mm-hmm.
like that, like for skills because we all have different skill sets. Some have more than others, some have less than others, whatever. But we all have certain skill sets that we could trade off, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what they used to do back in the day. And I feel like yeah, since someone made it all about money, that's what also drained
Capitalism.
them. Yeah, that's what also drained us. And I'm like, I want to go off the grid so I don't have to worry about money.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd love to live off the grid too.
literally,
But I
like,
feel like that's like the divine, like the divinity within us is get back to our roots.
yeah.
Modern day society in America has taken us so far away from being able to fend for ourselves, to create and build stuff for ourselves. Like, imagine the world does end or we have no more electricity. Oh, it's going to be everyone is a deer in headlights because no one's going to know how to like just build a basket,
Mm-hmm.
create just a basic TP shelter. They're going to be like, how do I survive?
Yeah, everybody's not even thinking about that anymore. We're only thinking about content, 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 and not thinking about, oh, we need to go back to our life skills. I don't
Correct.
hear anything about Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts anymore, or anything like
I can't
that.
even find them kids selling cookies.
Yeah, like there's no more echoes, if you know what that is. It's like a little you go to this place and like you can learn different skill sets like finding frogs or how to build certain things and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't really hear anything about. They mostly do it like in elementary and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm not in elementary anymore, but like you don't really hear much about that anymore. And like there is some things where people try to make community things, but it's not like we need to go back to making community tactical stuff. Like,
correct, like how to identify plants in the case of an
mm-hmm.
emergency, like,
Yeah.
you know, how to cultivate the land, like grow a seed from a
Mm-hmm.
seed to produce.
What herbs are good for, digestion and
Mm-hmm.
health and stuff. So a lot of holistic teaching. So I feel like we need to get into that too, and not just, oh, let's do a yoga
Yeah.
meditation. Like, those are great too. That builds community, but we need more skillful tactics to learn.
And I do
As
think in relation to like that, as women, the birthing industry is making billions, if not trillions of dollars. Yes, more women in the past died from birth naturally, but look how many women still die, especially in America, from birthing in hospitals. We need to go back to the roots and just be like, this is what our body was created to do. We shouldn't be spending $50,000 to have a baby.
literally,
Like,
you don't even need to go to the hospital realistically, because the hospital is not even using.
they're putting pitocin in you, they're forcing
Yeah,
contractions on you earlier than your body's ready to. That's going to be make you more prone to tearing. They're going to take your baby away from you immediately. Like, these are just not natural things that shouldn't be. As
yeah.
females, we need to request more. No, I'll keep my baby in the room with me. No, I don't want X, Y, and Z drugs put into my body. Like, we just gotten so accustomed to synthetic drugs and this just being the natural course of giving birth, and it's just like, there's a reason it hurts to give birth.
Even the positions that they put them in the hospital is not the
is
correct
is
positions.
incorrect.
Yeah.
And it's like, ask, it feels like when you're in this vulnerable position and then you have to ask the nursing staff, oh, can I just, flip onto my knees instead? And they're like, no. It's just like, what do you mean no?
I'm the one giving birth here.
Right. So it's just like, I feel like being in your divinity is also speaking up for yourself in situations that are, dire, or where you don't agree necessarily with what's going on, or advocating for yourself in healthcare environments, because oftentimes you get walked all over as a patient and you do not get heard or listened to. So it's just like, speak up for yourself, even if it's uncomfortable. It will feel good in the end, ultimately.
Mm-hmm. And that ties back to being a leader. I didn't even get to finish going into that. But so basically, like, people are saying, oh, this is like, basically a lot of women and some men are starting to say, like, women should be like leaders for certain things, like Camilla should be president, blah blah blah. But Kamala, whatever her fucking name is.
Whatever the heck her name is. Kamala, whatever, Camilla.
What the fuck? But men don't want us to lead because we're emotional, blah blah blah. And they say, oh, women are gonna start wars, but who really started the wars first?
Yeah, men
Yeah.
started them wars,
And then they try to bring up, oh, men started wars because their wife was doing this, blah blah blah.
that's the dumbest
Where's the
excuse I've
proof?
ever heard. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, controversial take. I don't think a woman should be running any country, especially America. I don't know if people agree with me or not. It's fine if you don't. But I say that solely because of many of the other countries in the world are not as first world as America. Oh, these rights for these people, X, Y, and Z. It's like, you're not going to get respect as a country if you have a woman making the decisions. And that's just the reality of 95% of other countries having men in power, unfortunately. So I'm pro, let the man lead, and the women can be like, the next in line, like the
Or
VP.
yeah, or like, where they say, like, the woman is basically the backbone, or the woman is the rib of a man.
Yes.
So you could have her not behind you, but next to you, also giving you input and
Yes.
actually taking in the input and not just saying, oh, I didn't ask for
Yes.
your opinion, or blah blah blah. If you have a woman by your side,
Mm-hmm.
listen to her thoughts, consider it. You can tweak it if you need to,
Yep.
but she doesn't have to be the actual leader, but she could lead you in certain ways
that you might not consider
Yeah.
to think about. It offers you a different perspective, which is like half the population of America, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying a woman shouldn't be vice president. I just don't necessarily think she should be the number one person in charge.
which is I agree. I wouldn't want to lead a country.
Me neither. I
I
also
don't
wouldn't want to
want to
get
lead it.
drafted to war.
Yeah, I don't know. Just if a FBI agent or whoever comes to my door, just shoot me. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Like, it is really hard because I do feel like society, at least up here in the Northeast, really has led females astray. Like, I know so many girls who want to be the masculine one in their relationship, or like, forget gender roles. I'm going to birth the kids and maintain the house and go to work 80 hours a week. And it's just like, girl, what? Why? And it's just, I don't understand that sentiment because having kids is a full-time job and they do need their moms. You know, those are important roles in a child's life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine being raised by, I don't know, two masculine men who are together and you're a female. It's like, where's the feminine energy that you would require growing into yourself?
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those nuanced things. It's not impossible, but it would be hard to get from without having a mother in your life.
Yeah.
How do you know femininity?
Yeah, because you need both aspects
Yes.
from a woman and a man, but we both carry feminine and masculine
Yes.
traits. So you can decipher it, but like, yeah, I wouldn't want. I do have seen men. Oh my god, I have seen women be like overly masculine.
Me too.
Hey, all power to you, but we still need to tap into our femininity. But a lot of times, women don't tap into it anymore because once they got belittled or being down and stuff like that, and now their guard is fully up and they can't.
Yeah.
They refuse.
They're hyper masculine.
Yeah, they refuse to go back to that because they don't want to be
let
down, walked over, disappointed, hurt, which I generally do understand, but
that's where the balance comes in.
Yeah.
You can be 100% feminine in your divine femininity, and that's where people respect you, not walk all over you. It's a matter of how you what's the word? Present yourself, and that's why I say your tone of voice and how you speak to people is very important, because oftentimes you might hear that it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
Yeah.
So it's like knowing how to cater and adjust yourself, code switch to your audience is part of your femininity or your masculinity. Is you're speaking to who you need to speak to in a way you know they will receive, and it's not getting yourself walked on or allowing yourself to be disrespected.
I also talked to a friend of mine about this. He is a man. But basically, like, he is very truthful. And I was telling him, it's basically like, yeah, you could tell the truth, but it's how you say certain things.
Yes.
And like the things that you're saying, like, he's very like, he could be rude,
blunt.
Yeah, very blunt, rude as hell sometimes, but it's like in certain situations you have to like be presentable in a certain way, and like, yeah, I'd rather be told the truth, of course, all the time, 100%.
Me too.
But it's your delivery. Like, you can't say you're a dirty bum, blah 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 blah. Like, be like, hey, I think you need to clean up a little bit better because the way you're presenting yourself to these people is not good.
It's not like conducive with what they need to receive what you're saying.
And some people receive things certain ways. Yes. And he was like, he said that he doesn't care because they're getting the truth out of him. But it's like, you have to realize, like, yeah, I'm a sensitive person. Would I rather be told the truth? Yes, 100%. But I don't want to be like disrespected. Okay. In that same sense.
Yeah, you know I used to be very like your friend, honest. Really was just mean and blunt, if I'm being real. Mm-hmm. And I had to course adjust on, wait, why am I showing up like this? I can tell someone that they have, you know, something obvious on their face that they obviously can't change, but I can say it nicely. You know what I mean? I don't have to be mean. Like, yeah. So it's just adjusting your communication and realizing, hey, you can tell someone whatever you want, whether it's nice or not, but it depends on how you say it. Yeah. Because it will change people's perspective of you as well. And part of being feminine is a level of respect to yourself and the people around you.
Yeah. And I've also learned those things too, because like there's times where I say certain things, like I've said a certain thing to someone, and then someone, that person, and it wasn't like my intent wasn't to be like mean or whatever, but she said like, hey, you have to say certain things a certain way so someone else doesn't perceive it that way. And that
Yes.
was what made me take accountability and say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
Yes. And that's valid.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, before I would just say whatever. I'm not always conscious about what I say, or sometimes the words that I pick isn't the word that I actually mean. So I have
Yes.
to sit back, and then that's why I sit back and overthink. But, you know, there's times where you have to take accountability and be like, hey, like, that wasn't the right thing to say, or,
Or how I showed up in this situation, I had X, Y,
yeah.
and Z going on, and apologize. And that's a level of awareness and self growth as well, as just being able to apologize, forgive yourself for how you showed up, and then apologize to the person who, whether did or didn't take what you said any type of way, it's still good to be like, hey, I just wanted to apologize real quick. And then you'd be like, oh, girl, you're good, or no worries, or you'd be like, oh, thank you for saying that because it did make me feel X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you collectively grow and help people grow. And they sometimes they don't even realize they need it.
Yeah.
So I think that is like the epitome of like your masculine and your feminine. And there's so many things that go into that, like accountability, leadership, communication skills, self growth, and awareness. So yeah, yeah. Is there any other topics in femininity that we should touch on?
How do we think femininity is perceived hmm, through how we present ourselves? So, like,
Okay. That's a good point. I think
clothing, stuff like that.
it's a tough one for me because
Yeah.
as I've grown into my femininity, because I do feel like I was brainwashed from Northeast schools to be more hyper independent, masculine, want to have to work like a man. I do feel now that it is better to be more conservative in your clothing. And I do find skirts and dresses and heels to be more feminine than sneakers and cargo jeans. You know what I mean? Of course, there are ways to make those things look feminine. I'm just saying, like, from a man's point of view, y'all know you love a sundress. You
If
know.
you actually know what a sundress is, it isn't a bodycon dress. That's not a sundress.
Mm-hmm.
A sundress is a flowy dress,
Mm-hmm.
like a like back in the day in the 50s, where they're out putting their
Yep.
hanging up their clothes on the hanger, and they're
Yep.
wearing the nice flowy dresses. That is a
Where you
sundress.
might be able to see them boobs bounce and that ass jiggle a little bit, okay? But it's not stuck onto your body. Guys know
Yeah.
they love those maxi skirts and those longer things. So I do think from a male perspective, they like women to dress more feminine, or I think sometimes feminine clothes, unfortunately, are the tighter fitted stuff or the things that are do show off more of your figure.
And that's because society is making things more sexual.
Correct.
And that's something that I also agree with. Like, when I wear certain, like, girly clothes and stuff, I feel more in my feminine.
Me
Like,
too.
my birthday pass, I was wearing a nice bodysuit for my
That looks
birthday shoot.
so good. If you
Thanks.
guys didn't see it, go look.
Go look on my personal, but or my blue dress that I
That blue
wore.
dress one
Yeah,
also ate. Go
yeah.
look at it.
Now, did I wear a bra with it?
You
No,
didn't need
but
one. You didn't need one.
yeah,
I
but
feel like that's part of femininity is just letting them titties hang like mine are right now. You you do not need a
yeah,
bra.
like things like that, you know. So it's like, but I've also been. I'm a tomboy, kinda. So like, I like to get fly and stuff like that. I've been trying to make it more girly in a
Yes,
sense,
I feel you.
but I'm all one for big tees and baggy sweats and stuff, just because that's my comfortability. But plus also because it, like, for lack of better words, it hides myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't want to always wear, like, I wear crop tops and stuff, and it shows my boobs or whatever. But like, do I really want to?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like, I'd rather be covered up.
Yes.
And all power to you if you want to show your boobs and blah blah blah. But like, There was this post that I seen and that I shared recently that basically women aren't making it like mysterious anymore. We're
Correct.
wearing lingerie on our birthday shoots, or we're wearing lingerie to the club and stuff like that. And I said from like the 90s to now, it's always
Yes.
been overly sexualized.
Yes.
Especially the poses that we're doing. We're bent over and showing our
Mm-hmm.
coochies and our ass and stuff like that. And yeah, I get it. It's we're trying to make ourselves more feminist and blah blah blah
Yeah,
or
very
whatever.
feminine. That's
But
very feminist. That's very different than femininity,
yeah,
which is crazy.
and it's like quite literally, I'd rather be conservative, and then when it's time for that, I will show my man
Freak
that.
out, literally. That
Yeah,
freak comes out.
yeah. Like I don't want to be showing what is supposed to be secretive.
For just your one man. And I don't want to come off as a hypocrite because when I was younger, from 16 up until I was about probably 22, I was posting a certain way on the internet, and I love that past version of myself still to this day and accept her. But as these past 2 years came, I do try to post less. Of course, in the summer, I'll post, a swimsuit bikini pic here and there, progress of my gym gains. I don't think there's anything wrong with that every once in a while. But I used to do it all the time, you know, and it's just like, wait, was I real? What was I seeking in doing that? You know what I
Attention.
mean? Correct. It was more so for the male gaze than anything else. And the older I get, the less I want to post like that on the internet, just because of the career that I want for myself. But also, like, I want this to be for my man, wherever he is.
Mm-hmm. And it's also another thing too, because men like get off on it, so it's like
Yes.
it doesn't really help either way.
Yes.
Because there's girls that make sex pages and are
Mm-hmm.
twerking all up on it and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's it
Yeah.
used to be a thing where like you have to hear about it. Now it's like social media literally and our phones, like our parents said, really is
Poison.
ruining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's ruining
venomous. It's ruining everything. It's
how we view ourselves. We compare our
mm,
bodies, and it's like men really don't care. Like, media has tainted their beauty standards of us, and it's unfortunate because it's just like they're missing out on some good shit because they're like, oh, she has to have X, Y, and Z
she
or
has
look
to be an
like.
Instagram baddie.
Yeah,
Like, and it gives people way too many options. Like,
way too many options.
I'd rather meet someone organically
Me too.
than be DM'd and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you can meet someone through social media, and it doesn't have to be just romantic. But it's like I'd rather just a organic thing, like back in the 90s where we, or even before, we
Media.
met someone. Yeah, we met someone on the street or in the meadows or something.
Naturally.
Yeah, we write them letters and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like that's the type of things that I want, whether it's platonic or
Me
romantic.
too.
Like, because yeah, DM is cool, but I'd rather meet someone at a networking event and they'd be like,
Yep.
oh well, I do have you on social media, but we
Yep.
have this organic natural meetup, and it's more,
Authentic.
yeah.
It's less he hasn't seen you in a million different angles on the internet, but rather, oh, who is that beautiful person over there? I want to go talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
But even media has gotten away from natural interactions. People like don't know how to socialize. And back when I used to post a certain way on the internet, and I was delusional to this because I truly didn't believe in it because I'm a feminist, that the way you post really does dictate the type of men that you attract and who's messaging you. Because if you post in a sexual manner all the time, you're going to have men lusting over you, and that is all they're going to want is you in that capacity, not the who you are as a person and your personality and what you can provide them other than with sex. So it does kind of self sabotage and dilute the quality of men that you bring to you when you post a certain way. And over the last, I want to say 2, 3 years, the main post on my page, like not the story post, I have been trying to be more conservative because I'm like, well, this is all going to be viewed from my future employer's point of view, but also like when people come to my page, do I want to be one of those IG girls with everything out showing for everyone to see? Like,
Yeah,
for what?
and honestly, they only do it to get the male
Views.
gaze, the views, to get money, and it's like, go get your money, girl. But like,
Yeah.
When does it come to a point where you sit down and be like, hey, like, do I really want all these men's views and money, or do I want my man? Like, not for the money from your man, but like, and like generally, like, do you want it just for your man? Because I do think about like certain podcasts that talk about, you know, OnlyFans girls and stuff like that, and it's like I would never be an OnlyFans girl unless it's like me reading a book to you and you, joke's on you, you just
Yeah.
pay $5 to get
Yep.
a book read to you with
Mm-hmm.
fully clothes on.
Or how to make a tincture.
Yeah, like other than that, but it's like
It's,
I c-
yeah, it's basically selling your soul, I want to say, to the devil of the internet, because
and
it's quick
porn.
money. It's basically prostitution and porn, 100%. And that's, to me, the feminist delusion of thinking, hey, you can do these things and still get the husband of your dream who's making this much money, and you have these kids, as if those kids in school later on in life aren't going to have people coming up to them like, oh, your mom used to do OnlyFans? Like, that's not a
Isn't your
flex.
mom slut sucker 3,000? Like,
Yeah.
well, you know how embarrassing that is. Like,
Correct. Like, I just can't imagine, like, doing stuff like that on the internet and then my kids are getting humiliated or whatever because the people they go to school with find out about it. You know what I mean? Kids, they look their parents up at some point in their life. So it's like you can't hide the things you were doing before them because they will see something or find something you have hidden in your house about who you were before them.
literally, Kim Kardashian's her
Correct.
son, right, saw the sex tape name pop up, and then she started
Yes.
crying about it. Like, you should have
Yes.
never did it, stupid.
Correct.
It
Like
got
that.
leaked.
That's a perfect example, and it's just like, what the heck? Like, this is not divine femininity. That is feminist new aged fourth wave bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
no.
we need to go back to being conservative and modest.
Modest at the very least, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, if you want, I don't think there's anything wrong with showing your midriff or your belly button or cleavage. You know, even a little booty cheek, and some shorts. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
but also be aware of like where you're going.
Correct.
Especially like I see a lot of videos where girls are wearing certain booty shorts and like there's kids in the vicinity. Like,
Yes.
you, like, people really combat that, but you really have to sit down and think about that. They'd be like, oh, well, your mom was wearing this, or like, I'm grown so I can wear whatever. Okay, that's great, but, or like, hide your kids. Like, I shouldn't have to hide my kids. You should just be able to think about that,
Mm-hmm.
because you wouldn't want your kids around someone like that.
Yeah,
Like, let's
yes.
literally be real.
Why would you want that someone dressed a certain way showing up to a child's event inappropriately? It's just like, that was like Lizzo going to the basketball game with her ass out in her square cutout dress. Whole booty cheeks was out. Like, you can't do that.
Like, you
It's
have to think about kids, because literally, in my experience and other people's experiences, we are always going to be, I don't want to say always, but like, back when I was a kid, my parents had, like, you know, sexual things around, or they forgot to close certain things on the laptop. So we are going to get
exposure.
yeah, exposure to it. So you have to think about that. Like, kids, they think about that, like the Cooking with Kaya girl.
Cooking
All,
with
yeah,
Kaya. Cooking
talking
with
about I'm gonna
Kaya.
steal your man because I could cook these voluptuous pancakes. Like, bitch, I can make pancakes too. Just give me the recipe and
it's
what the
it's
heck. It's like,
it's gonna taste very good. Yeah.
it's like things like that. And like, I used to be a sub teacher, so I would hear these little kids talk about that, and
Yes, me
it
too.
literally would disgust me, because why we, and parents, you need to really like watch your
Monitor
kids. Yeah,
monitor those kids.
or not make them an iPad kid. Come
Correct.
on, like,
As working as subs in schools, we see how these kids are literally unable to focus on a simple, maybe 10-minute course lesson. And as doing sixth grade reading for a week not too long ago, the kids could hardly read. Some of them could hardly read. I'm like, what the heck?
yeah, but they could do a TikTok dance within a second.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
And it's just like, this is embarrassing. These kids are in sixth grade, eighth grade, and they're stuttering, not like when it's actually stutter, but stuttering to read aloud. And parents need to do better. We're not parents yet, right? So it is all hypocrisy at this point in time, but it's like, we as an adult where we don't have kids yet, but when we do, we know how we would like to raise them.
Yes.
And that's more organically. Like they should be having their hands in the dirt. They should be outside. They should be
Mm-hmm.
making mud pies and potions in their
Yeah,
backyards.
literally. They should be having their friends over,
Yep.
laughing and giggling about the things that they're drawing or coloring or
Mm-hmm.
just life. Like, it shouldn't be, oh, look at this girl, she's twerking, or
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like, that's really not cute at all.
The internet is not the place where you want your kid who is susceptible to literally everything they are learning to be off the internet. You want to have some level of range over what they're exposed to. And yes, after a certain point in time, once a kid does have a phone, they are going to go searching the internet, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the natural course of the curiosity of a young teenager. That's going to happen. But prior to, you have to give them the tools to have discernment on what type of sites should they or should they not be going on. Which links should they be clicking on? Should they be talking to strangers on the internet? No, you have to educate them so you avoid the consequences that could potentially arise down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents were, at least my mom, because my dad was at work, were very good about educating for the internet. Like, you don't go here, you don't talk to strangers, X, Y, and Z. Like, and even my dad, like once we got older, was like, hey, I don't care if you're gonna go somewhere. You need to let someone know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens and you don't come home, at least we know your last location.
Yeah, yeah. My parents are the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
So, and now I know this a double-edged sword, kind of, because they say, oh, when you're strict, it makes your kids do all these other things. It's like, if you think about it, like, yeah, my parents were strict, but I wasn't using their strictness to make those decisions. I was listening to my friends and on all the other stuff and letting them guide me instead of listening to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made the mistakes that I made. Now, that was also my choice, which we also have to, I feel like when we get older, we could, inform them about, like, you're okay to make mistakes, but be mindful of
The mistakes. Learn from them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
or try to use your discernment on where you're going and what you're doing to
Correct.
then decide, do I want to make this mistake or am I going to listen to what I've been told?
Correct.
So,
And my mom was raised in Jamaica, so it very much was, I'm not sending you to school to make friends. I'm sending you to learn. And there was one like, so if your friends jump off a bridge, you're going to jump off the bridge after them too. Basically, like, no, you need to have your own mind. So if your friends want to jump off the bridge, you don't jump off the bridge with them just because they're doing it. And then it was, you are who your friends are. So if your friends are out here stealing cars, even though you don't do that, that's how people are going to look at you because you're associated with these said people.
yeah. And I had like a conversation with my friends about like certain people that I'm like known, like I know of. And it opened my eyes a little bit, and it's like, I know personally I'm not that person, and I don't want nobody to perceive me as what those people are doing, but I did not know these certain things about these people.
Mm-hmm.
So now it feels awkward because I am friends with these people, but now since I have that information, for me it's kind of like, now I want to push back, but then it's like, I don't know.
That's your intuition. So it's like you
Yeah.
gotta trust it because now you know this information that you didn't previously know, and now it might judge how people view you. So it's just like, ooh, I do have to fall back for my peace of mind, but also how people view you, as much as people say it's not that important, is very important. If your friends are hoes, bottle girls in the club every night, and maybe you're not, or you do go out every now and again, the people who are looking at you from whatever perspective are now going to think, oh, she moves like them, especially from like a masculine point of view and a man viewing a woman. I've had my friends tell me that their boyfriends don't like them hanging out with, this was when I was younger, don't like them hanging out with me solely based off of how I posted on the internet, because how I posted is associated with certain types of behaviors, whether or not I was engaging in those behaviors, which I wasn't. It was just the outward appearance is, people thought, oh, she's whatever, fast or down to get down. And it's like, no, I'm not. I just like posted a certain way, and really swayed people's perspective of me. So it's just like, ooh, that was a humbling thing to hear, because it's just like, oh, I don't move like that, so I don't know why your man don't like you hanging out with me. And it's like,
Yeah.
my friends know that, but how would her boyfriend or their boyfriend who views me only on the internet know that? They wouldn't. So it's a valid point of view to have. And it's like, well, can't change his mind now. His perspective of me is already made up.
It's already tainted.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to like social media too, like, yeah, of course you're gonna wear a bathing suit and post or whatever, but again, men are viewing it, so that's where it comes to the whole thing, like, oh, you're showing them that you like what you see, and technically you are. And it's just like if I was like a picture of a guy with his abs out, I'm liking what I see, like you, like things like that. And then there's a whole argument, but you have to really sit down and like dissect it,
Yeah.
because you are liking what you see, you're literally liking it,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I feel like it's also a respect thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're friends with your girlfriend's friends and you see that, you should definitely like not like it just because you're friends.
Correct.
It should be a respect thing. You should be respecting your woman. And like, if someone is advocating that they don't like certain pages on your page, it's not always about, oh, I don't like this certain person. Maybe it is for certain people, but if you're a man and you have all these lustful pages on your page, and I'm advocating for myself and telling you, hey, that's something that doesn't make me comfortable with,
because he's being exposed to these images and things, and porn is a huge factor in how men show up in the bedroom. It is doing something in their mind, and it's either the shock factor now is they need more intense things to like get off, but also it's like taking away from the intimacy with his partner. So it's like, if your man is following all these porn pages on Twitter, or all these fat asses, but what do they suck the fat out of their stomach, put it in their butt bodies, like
BBLs,
and it looks nothing like you, I just think that is a form of like disrespect to your relationship, because why are you viewing this? Do you need to view this? No. So it's like, if your lady's like, remove those pages, you should listen to her. She's onto something.
yeah, because now I see the person that you are, and again, you have me at home. Why do you need that?
Correct.
If you need something like spontaneous, we could talk about it. Like, it shouldn't be a thing where, oh, I'm gonna pay for these sex pages, or oh, I'm gonna go on Twitter, or I'm gonna go on porn, because you're not doing this. Or if it really comes down to it, this maybe just not be the person for you, and
correct,
you have to split ways.
You have to have boundaries as a man and a woman. And it's like, when the man I was recently was dealing with was telling me he didn't like how I was posting, which was in gym clothes, it was a humbling experience, and I do respect men's opinions when they've earned my respect on said issues. So it's just like, yeah, let's say you're a gym girl, you're always posting in the gym, and now you're posting angles of how you're doing your squats from below. I could see from a man's point of view, well, now these men are viewing you working out, and that could be problematic. So it is all perspective based. I didn't think there was anything wrong with posting in gym clothes with my tummy out. It was showing off my curves or a little cleavage here and there, but it's just a matter of, hey, I'll change how I post because I respect you. It's that simple. I don't have to post this on the internet. I choose to. So it's just who you're dealing with, really.
Yeah, and I even asked the person I was talking to recently, like, is this something that you're comfortable with? I made that initiative and said, hey, is this something that you're comfortable with? Because I've been posting it. It's not for the guys, it's for the girls, so they can see that it is possible to progress in your journey, whether you're going from a big woman to being more toned, or toned to bulking, like stuff like that. Like, I took that initiative and I asked him, and he said, you've been doing it, it's fine. I don't really care, because he's confident with himself. That's fine. But I also, like, I wouldn't mind stopping how I'm posting, because I would show like my glutes. I mean, it's not because I want a man to swipe up and be like, "Damn, girl, you're so fat." Like, no, I'm showing that the progress from how my glutes looked from last year to now has did its thing.
Yeah.
So,
and I post same in my bra and my underwear every time I want to show my progression and how my body has changed in whatever period of time. If my man didn't like that, cool. I don't have to post that way. I do believe women should respect the boundaries or the standards that the man they're interested in sets for them.
Mm-hmm. And the same way for men, when
Yeah.
women set their boundaries, we just have to respect each other.
Yeah, it's a level of receptiveness, and also it shows like reciprocity. Hey, we'll start the relationship off this way. We have these standards, and then now you know moving forward, if you do X, Y, and Z, that is grounds for the person to look at you differently or
Be
be
upset.
be upset, cause some friction in your relationship. So yeah, I think that touches on a lot of aspects of masculinity and femininity.
Yeah. So, if you guys have any thoughts, any concerns, any insights, feel free to comment down below on our YouTube, or leave a comment or little story or anything in the link in our bio on Instagram. And yeah,
Let us know what you think.
yeah,
And if you disagree, don't be afraid to tell us.
yeah. We could agree to disagree, disagree to agree, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All the same. It's all about respect in our response.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll
So,
see you on the next one.
bye.